The female lead was originally a celestial fairy Xuantianji, but suffered a terrible backlash after her first encounter with the Sea King system. She turned into a 3-year-old adorable child. At this time, the female lead was completing her final conquest mission. The man only wanted to see the woman's true objective. The woman agreed to the man's request, settled him down, and then left. At this moment, the Sea King system reminded that the woman had completed all conquest missions. The host would need to start new tasks next, with many rewards to come. The woman questioned skeptically, "Is that so?" At this moment, the woman's face darkened, and with an evil smile said, "In that case, let's settle our accounts." The Sea King system was completely confused. In the next second, it was grabbed by the woman. The Sea King system was still confused. "Susu, what are you doing?" The woman widened her eyes and said, "Of course, to kill you." The Sea King system, with its fate's throat being gripped, shouted. The woman said, "You think I don't know who absorbed my cultivation? Using me like this. Did you really think Xuantianji was just some innocent flower?" At this moment, the Sea King system couldn't help but show a shocked expression, saying, "Damn it, how did this woman discover everything? While there's life, there's hope." Just as it was about to escape, the woman caught it. The woman said, "I've been tolerating you for a long time." She shouted loudly, "Whether it was the messy conquest missions you arranged before, or making me act like a player spreading affection everywhere, I followed your arrangements all along just for today." At this time, the Sea King system activated its shield mode after being attacked. Taking this opportunity, it was preparing to enter the protective tunnel and break away. The woman pursued relentlessly. At this moment, the Sea King system activated attack mode, throwing a huge energy ball at the woman, saying, "Once I devour you, I can break through space and go to a new world to find a new host." At this time, the woman chanted a spell, and golden light emanated from her fingertips, surrounding her. The Sea King system was completely bewildered. The woman shouted "Seal," and cast out a circle of blessings, surrounding the Sea King system. The bound Sea King system said through gritted teeth, "You damned woman, what exactly did you do?" The woman said, "Something to keep you trapped forever, of course." At this moment, the Sea King system's form was dissolving, and energy input was complete. With a whoosh, an extremely dazzling golden light scattered around, surrounding you. The woman watched this scene in disbelief, the brilliant light making it impossible for her to keep her eyes open. At this crucial moment, the Sea King system prompted that energy was depleted and would enter sleep mode. The golden light dissipated. The woman was confused, not knowing why she had lost her way. When she looked at her hands again, she found herself shrunk. The woman shouted angrily, "Damn it, I didn't expect to still fall for that thing's trap." This was the woman's last blindfolded conquest. A person walked in, calling Mystery Immortal. The woman panicked. "This is bad. Absolutely cannot be discovered." She carefully snuck behind the man. She ran out with big steps. In her panic, the woman stepped on her dress hem and fell with a thud. The woman angrily shouted, "Damn system. When I recover, I'll tear you into pieces." Meanwhile, a well-built man was taking a bath. The man stepping out of the bathtub was like a lotus emerging from water, showing his alluring six-pack abs, with two maids helping him dress. "What a divine treatment," the man softly asked. "Have you found out who the woman was that saved this prince last time?" The servant replied, "It's said to be the Mystery Immortal, who suddenly appeared in the cultivation realm from the previous world, but her real name remains unknown." The man's face showed displeasure as he thought, "In that case, I will catch you sooner or later." After a long journey, the woman finally reached home, leaning against the wall and panting heavily. Opening the door and seeing the scene before her, the woman was dumbfounded. The floor was a mess. The woman said, "Indeed, my obedient disciple Morong can't manage without me." She then took out a talisman paper and softly chanted, "Remove dust." The talisman paper fell to the ground. There was no response. The woman panicked. "My spiritual power." The woman muttered as she sat cross-legged on the ground, trying again. She looked at her hands in disbelief. Frustrated, she said, "Damn system, actually sealing my spiritual meridians." At this time, someone quietly walked in behind her. The woman was drawing the Sea King system on the ground. "Sealing my spiritual power, I'll curse you with circles." A large hand approached from behind, while the woman remained unaware. Suddenly lifted by a great force, the woman panicked. Who is it? Looking at the familiar face before her, she was thunderstruck and said, How is it you? The man showed a fierce, domineering expression. He said, You know me? Looking at the little girl before him, the man seemed to recall something. This little girl looks so similar to someone I know. Holding the girl close, he asked, Who are you? How do you know me? The woman thought, How could I not know you? We were lovers. At this moment, the mark left by the Sea King system on her chest suddenly reacted. To prevent the man from discovering her true identity, the woman devised a plan to survive. Going all in, the woman opened her arms to embrace the man, calling out, Father. The man was shocked, his face full of questions. Unexpectedly, the man released his grip. With a thud, the woman fell heavily to the ground. The woman was savoring heartily. Pinger stared intently at the girl before him, the man wondering if she was his child. The man Zhengjiang asked, What proof do you have? After the man finished speaking, the woman said, You like sweets, especially candied haws, but pretend not to like them for your image. Also, you have 3 moles on your bottom and 1 on your inner thigh. Mother told me all this. The man was completely speechless, looking at the girl before him. The man thought, Could it be from that beautiful night? The woman looked at the blushing man and asked, Why are your ears so red? Based on what the girl said and the specific timing, it seems you really are my child. Gently stroking the girl's head, the man asked, What's your name? And where did your mother go? The girl said tearfully, Mother has been gone for 3 years. Only Xian is left. Xuan's life is so miserable. Indeed, the woman's acting was truly excellent. Upon hearing this, the man abruptly stood up from his seat. He said, From today on, you'll return with me to the demon palace. The woman became unsettled hearing this. Return to the demon palace? Shouldn't you be worried about me and stay to take care of me instead? The man said, Don't worry, I will continue to find her. Then I'll lock her up, and our family of 3 will never be apart. The woman became even more furious. The man asked, Are you happy? The girl immediately became tongue-tied. The woman thought about this battle-crazed man. If he can't find my mother, he might even lock me up. That cursed demon palace is filled with danger everywhere. After all, my previous interactions with this man weren't very pleasant. If I return to the demon palace and he discovers my identity, it would be truly terrifying. The girl said, I don't want to go to the demon palace, and turned to leave, but was caught again by the man who grabbed her collar from behind. He lifted the girl and walked away, despite her resistance being futile. The girl being held in the man's hand was crying, Wah, 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 wah. The man wrung his hands anxiously, showing a fierce expression, and roared, Stop crying. The woman in his hands immediately deflated like a punctured balloon. The followers behind watched their demon lord carrying a child like this. They discussed whether to remind him, but one said, Only if you're not afraid of death. Just throw the girl under the big tree. Clenching his fist, he said, If you cry again, I'll hit you. The woman looked at the man before her with teary eyes, thinking, After all these years, you're still handling things so roughly and simply. The girl burst into loud tears, saying, Father is so fierce. I want to find Mother. As the girl cried more intensely, the man grew more irritated. With no choice, he forced a smile and comforted her. Don't worry, I will definitely find Xian Tianji. At this time, Xian Tianji's other former lover, Xuanji Gong, whose young master was Mo Yang, heard Xian Tianji's name from the Jade Tree flying chamber. He came down to question the man. Xian Tianji? Where is she? Both men's eyes were filled with killing intent, exchanging lightning-like glares. Shi Moyang said, How presumptuous. Xuan said, She only loved me. Others were just for fun. The man lifted the girl up and said, Look carefully. This is the child of me and her. Gently placing his hand on the woman's head, he said, Don't just stand there, call him uncle. Shi Moyang sneered, Such exhausting fatherly love. Then he continued, Do you think I'll believe your words? If she really is your daughter, why is her hair color completely different from yours? The woman looked up at the man. The hair color is indeed different. Could it be that my young lover has discovered my identity? Shi Moyang continued, That night I spent with Xuan, counting the years, matches this child's age. The man said, Nonsense. Xian Tianji and I were already in love many years ago and spent wonderful nights together. No matter how you calculate, this child is mine. The argument between the two men under the tree continued endlessly. At this moment, the two men let the little girl make her own choice. Although the female lead was originally powerful after the backlash, in front of these two tall and strong men, she appeared particularly small, pitiful, and helpless. The woman rolled back and forth on the ground, saying, Xianxian doesn't want to choose either of them. Running away may be shameful, but it seems quite effective. The man's face darkened as he said sharply, Where else do you think you can run to? The two men who were full of killing intent a moment ago now suddenly united, saying, You're not leaving here until you clarify who your father is. The girl looked at both men helplessly. The girl said pitifully, Xianxian doesn't know. Xianxian only knows my hair is black, so I think father's hair should be black too. The woman thought to herself, I might as well go all in. Rather than being locked up in the demon palace by Qi Yin, I'd rather return to Xuanji Gong with Shimoyang. The man couldn't understand, just because of different hair color. As Shimoyang prepared to take the girl back to Xuanji Gong, the girl thought, I can also use Xuanji Gong's alchemy furnace to restore my spirit, which is quite a good choice. The man became angry and embarrassed, saying, How can you be so heartless, just like your mother? The man said defiantly, Sure, unless you defeat me, I won't let you take her away. Shimoyang said calmly, I've long wanted to compete with the Demon Palace Master. Today is a good opportunity to try. At this moment, a Demon Palace guard suddenly came to report urgent matters. When the Demon King heard the attendants say they had found Xian Tianji's whereabouts, he immediately became interested. The man turned his head to stare at the girl in the distance, thinking that finding Xian Tianji was more urgent now. Taking this little meat bun along might be a burden. Letting her stay at Xuanji Palace would be fine. At worst, he could always go back and snatch her later. The man said instantly, I have urgent matters to attend to. We'll settle our score another day. You can take this child back to Xuanji Gong for now, but if she loses even a single hair, I won't let you off. The woman wondered puzzledly. Why would Qi Yin compromise? There must be something wrong. Using the same method in the same position, Shimoyang picked up the woman, saying, I'll take care of my own daughter. No need for your concern, he said before preparing to leave with the woman. The woman showed displeasure and said helplessly, You two idiots. Don't either of you know how to hold a child properly? Looking at the girl in his arms, he asked, Didn't Ashwan teach you even the basic encounter techniques? The woman nervously replied, Mother was always busy and rarely looked after Xianxian. Without cleverness, a woman is useless. At this time, two disciples of Xuanji Palace watched the man in the sky, wondering, Young master has returned and seems to be carrying something. Only when the man landed did they see clearly, discussing behind him, it's actually a child. Doesn't young master know that kidnapping children is illegal? Then the girl called out, Father, Xianxian is hungry. The two were caught off guard. Father? This is young master's child? The girl said, Father, put Xianxian down. Xianxian can walk by herself now. The woman thought, How long are you going to carry me? The two behind them were instantly petrified. The man said the ground was dirty, and feeling the child's scent was very similar to Xian Tianji's. He became even more attached. At this moment, a woman ran towards Shi Moyang with a bright smile, calling out, Brother Moyang, you're back. As she approached and saw the girl in the man's arms, she looked confused. The woman thought, Oh, isn't this my former love rival Qing Shuji? The man instructed the woman, Your timing is perfect. Go find some food for me, the kind that children like. Qing Shuji delicately pulled at Shi Moyang's sleeve, asking, Brother Moyang, what's with this child? Did you find her lost? And kindly bring her back. Xian Tianji asked from the man's arms, Father, who is this Annie? The man replied, This is my junior sister. Upon hearing this, the woman became furious. How dare she call me Annie? The woman's face changed instantly, putting on a pitiful expression, asking, Brother Moyang, why does this child call you father? The man paid no attention to the woman, walking past her saying, This is my child with Ashwan. Of course, she calls me father. Xian Tianji giggled secretly in the man's arms. The woman's expression suddenly changed, thinking, You actually had a child with that little wretch Xian Tianji. Xian Tianji, lying on the man's shoulder, said, Father, Xuan's stomach is growling. Thinking about how angry Qin Shuji was earlier, she had a satisfied smile on her face. Qin Shuji came over, preparing to take the girl to eat. The girl waved and said, Annie, let's not. Qin Shuji stood frozen in place, each ante striking like lightning. At this moment, someone came to report, "Young master, there are some urgent matters regarding the martial arts conference." The man had to hand the girl to Qin Shuji. Xian Tianji was completely unwilling, holding onto the man's hand, thinking about how powerless she was now. Falling into old Qin's hands would mean death. After struggling 3 times, she still ended up in this woman's hands. Xian Tianji felt hopeless, being held in the woman's arms. Indeed, men couldn't be relied upon. In crucial moments, one had to depend on oneself. The woman reached out her hand, showing an evil expression, saying, "Little one, let's go." Full of momentum 1 second. The next second, hugging a pillar in front, refusing to let go, saying Xian doesn't want to go with you. The woman angrily said, "Stop wasting time. If it weren't for Brother Moyang's instructions, who would want to take care of you?" The corridor behind caught Xian Tianji's attention. The woman then remembered that the alchemy room was at the end of this corridor. She had to find a way to shake off Qin Shuji quickly. Xian Tianji had an idea and called out, "Annie Qin, I want to eat the peach blossoms that mother liked best." The woman fiercely said, "Who would keep such things? They're long gone." Xian Tianji showed an innocent expression, saying, "But father said there are peach blossoms in front of mother's portrait in his room." Qin Shu angrily instructed, "Wait here. I'll go check. Since Brother Moyang is busy, I'll pretend the room caught fire and destroy it." Xian Tianji pretended to call from behind, "Annie Qin, I want to go too." As soon as Qin Shu left, it was just as the woman had hoped. The woman sneakily arrived at the alchemy room and pushed open the door. A huge alchemy furnace stood before her eyes. Only then did she remember that previously, alchemy relied on spiritual power. Now with her short arms and legs, what could she do? Moreover, the needed alchemy materials were placed at the very top. Was heaven truly against her? Suddenly, a chilling laugh echoed. The woman was startled. After realizing she'd been tricked, Qin Shuji rushed back only to find the girl had already disappeared. The man, having finished his business, returned and asked, "What are you doing here? Where's Xian?" The woman nervously answered, "Brother Moyang. She went to the bathroom." The man exclaimed, "She's only 3 years old, and you let her go alone?" The man noticed thick smoke coming from the alchemy room behind. It was rest time now. Could someone have trespassed into Xuanji Gong? The man approached the alchemy room slowly with his sword. He heard the girl's voice saying, "Next, find the belladonna." It seemed she was searching for medicines inside. The man pushed open the door, saying, Xian, you can't play here randomly." Seeing the scene before him, the man's face turned red. At this moment, the woman who had been haunting the man's thoughts day and night appeared before his eyes. The alchemy room was filled with swirling smoke, and the girl, covered in dirt, was lying on a small dog. The girl held up the pill she had made, saying, "I made extra. The potency should be enough." Only then did the man realize that earlier was just an illusion. The man asked sternly, "The alchemy room is forbidden ground. What is a child doing here?" The girl stammered in response, "Because mother told me that father's alchemy furnace is excellent and told Xian to try it when she had the chance." The man's expression changed instantly. Gently stroking the girl's head, he asked meaningfully, "So it was Ashwan's request? What else did your mother tell you?" The girl lied smoothly, saying, "Mother said father is smart and handsome, excellent at swordsmanship, gentle and kind, a wonderful father indeed." Moyang was overjoyed, holding the girl in his arms, saying, "Don't worry, I will find Ashwan soon, so we 3 can reunite as father and daughter." Seeing the woman peeking from afar, "I must act tonight when no one's around. Otherwise, those restless eyes might ruin my plans." Late at night, the man asked, "Aren't you afraid to sleep alone?" The girl replied, "Not afraid. Xian is grown up now, and with Wang accompanying me, I'm even less afraid." Looking at the sleeping girl, the man grew suspicious. "This dog has only ever been close to me and Ashwan, yet it's so attached to you now. Are you really our daughter?" Watching the man walk away, she sat up skillfully. She took out a pill from her pocket and swallowed it. The woman sat cross-legged, preparing to restore her original form. Suddenly, she felt something wasn't quite right. The room suddenly filled with spiritual light. The woman miraculously recovered, and she was overjoyed. At this moment, the Sea King system suddenly appeared, saying, "You underestimate my power. Your medicine can only last half an hour at most." The woman asked puzzledly, "Weren't you in hibernation?" How are you here? The Sea King system replied, You think I don't have backups? Though my energy is low, it's more than enough to talk to you. Further pursuit would be disadvantageous for both. The Sea King system proposed a deal for both to compromise. The woman asked, Tell me your plan first. I'll consider whether to back down or not. After all, I'm quite comfortable living as a child, getting free food and lodging. The system said, I'll tell you how to recover normally if you cancel my hibernation. The Sea King system, now weak, couldn't fight her and could only endure. It then said, The method to restore you is to gather the power of all the handsome men you've conquered before. That can help break your seal. The woman angrily grabbed the Sea King system, asking, What kind of ridiculous method is this? As the Sea King system prepared to flee, the woman took out a talisman and shouted, Don't think about escaping. Suddenly, there was a noise outside the door. Could it be that meddlesome Qingshu Ji? She must not discover me. The door slowly opened. The woman frowned, saying, Now's the time. Just as she was about to act, a large hand firmly gripped her. The man showed a triumphant expression. The woman asked confusedly, How is it you? Holding her in his arms with a loving expression, he said, Xian Tianji, I've finally found you. The man said smugly, Run now. Let's see where you can go. The man picked her up horizontally, saying, To punish you, I won't let you go tonight. The woman frantically said, This is Xuanji Palace. If they discover us, you're done for. He carried the woman toward the bed. Don't worry, I've already set up the night fire crystal. They won't discover us, the woman awkwardly said. Without any foreplay, starting directly isn't right. The man was already gently caressing the woman's face. Slowly drawing closer, he said, If you prefer taking it slow, that's fine too. The man smirked. Tonight, in Shimoyang Xuanji Palace, I'll share intimate moments with you. When he learns of this tomorrow, I'll be so excited. Xian Tianji teased the man. So you just want to show off to Shimoyang? You don't really miss me at all? A thought crossed the woman's mind. As soon as I recovered my wits, Qian appeared. Could he have placed a tracking mark on me? I must figure this out. The woman lifted the man's chin, drawing close to say, I thought you really missed me after not seeing me for so long. Seems I was overthinking. Holding her in his arms, he said, If I didn't miss you, how could I think of you every day? How could I follow your scent here? The man pressed close to her cheek, saying, I suddenly regretted sending our daughter here. Xuanji Palace specifically came to retrieve our daughter, but unexpectedly found this pleasant surprise. The man leaned down close to the woman, saying, Xian Tianji, you'll never escape my grasp. The woman frantically tried to stop him. Suddenly, a huge beam of light struck like lightning. Shi Moyang appeared with sword in hand, angrily shouting, How dare you, Qian, sneaking into my Xuanji Palace at night? The man retorted irritably, Perfect timing. You deliberately hid Xian Tianji. I haven't settled that score with you yet, and here you come delivering yourself. Protecting the woman behind him, he said, Today, I will take both Xian Tianji and Xian away. No one can stop me. The woman sighed in relief. Fortunately, neither of them has discovered my identity yet. The woman suddenly felt that her internal spiritual power was dissipating. Looking at the two hostile men before her, Xian Tianji had to leave this place before shrinking back. Otherwise, she'd either be taken back to the demon palace and locked up by Qian, or be constantly pursued by Shi Moyang. The thought made her shudder. If that happened, wouldn't the rest of her life be ruined? The woman took out a talisman and shouted, Binding talisman, seal these too. The two frozen men were still confused. Seizing the opportunity, the woman ran away quickly with a small dog. The woman didn't know how much spiritual power remained or how long it would last. She could only run as far as possible. Suddenly, there was a noise from behind. The woman quickly dodged the incoming beam of light. Oh, it's my old love rival. The floating Qingshu Ji said, I wondered why it was so lively tonight. So Sister Ashwan has come. The woman mockingly said, Well, if it isn't my dear junior sister Qingshu Ji. Long time no see. Qingshu Ji pointed her sword at the woman, saying, I warned you before. If you dare step into Xuanji Palace again, I won't spare you. Xian Tianji provoked. Shi Moyang used Xuanji Palace as a betrothal gift to propose to me. I can come and go as I please. What business is it of yours? Qingshu became angry with embarrassment and cursed. Xian Tianji, you shameless woman. What kind of sorcery did you use to bewitch Brother Moyang? The woman quickly grabbed the sword thrust at her. Xian Tianji provoked. Say that again louder if you dare. Your brother Moyang is listening inside. Today I'm busy. No time to waste with you. Xian Tianji shouted, Binding spell, restrain Qingshu. The paper was instantly bound by a circle of light. The woman mounted the flying dog, saying, "Binbin, quickly take me somewhere safe." A shadow was seen darting quickly through the cypress forest behind Xuanji Palace. The woman sat down exhausted, saying, "If I can't restore my spiritual power, death is certain sooner or later. I'd better listen to the Sea King system for now and decide after recovering." The woman commanded, "System, I know you're there. Come out now." The Sea King system appeared. The woman asked, "What exactly do I need to do?" The Sea King system said, "The handsome men you're pursuing represent the 5 elements of yin and yang. What you need to do is absorb their powers into your body, then cultivate and harmonize them to break my seal." The woman immediately asked, "How can I obtain their powers?" The system added, "Each power has a different method of reception. Take Chian's fire attribute, for example. You need to dual cultivate while both parties are conscious." After the system finished speaking, the woman glared angrily, wanting to split the system in half, saying, "Say that again. You want me to dual cultivate with Qiyin? You must be joking." The system added, "There's no choice. Chian's power is too strong. Only through dual cultivation can it be harmonized properly." Throwing the system away, she said, "I'll think about it. Get lost for now." The system warned, "You must hurry, or your body will be harmed." The woman was slowly shrinking as the medicine's effects wore off. Having returned to child form, the woman complained, "The carefully refined pills only last half an hour. What can I do now with these short limbs?" Binbin watched with a confused expression. Suddenly Qiyin appeared, bearing multiple wounds. The man shouted, "Xian Tianji, where else do you plan to run?" Looking at the girl before him, their eyes met. The man asked, "Why are you here?" "Your mother." The girl stammered. "Mother said for Xian to wait here for her." The woman thought to herself, "Is Qiyin part bloodhound?" He caught up so quickly. Looking at the man's wounds, the woman wondered, could these be from forcefully breaking the binding spell? They sat on the ground. The man said, "Then I'll wait here too. I don't know why your mother keeps running around." The girl squatted nearby, wondering, "Lord Qi, are you actually concerned about me?" The man continued, "Later I'll seal your mother's spiritual power and lock her in the demon palace. That'll stop her running around." This terrified the woman. The woman's stomach growled from exhaustion. She thought, "If only I could have some of Morong's grilled meat right now." At this moment, Xian Tianji's disciple Morong was coming to patrol Xuanji Palace. The man warned, "Hand over my master Xianxian quickly, or don't blame me for being impolite." The man transformed into a 9-tailed fox, his eyes fierce with killing intent. The woman cried with joy, "Morong dear, did you hear your master's call? Master Xianxian is right here." The 9-tailed fox looked at the girl before him, puzzled. Why does this child look so similar to Master Xianxian? The girl's eyes welled with tears, showing an adorably dumb expression. The man patted the woman's head, saying, "This is my daughter with Xian Tianji." Of course the daughter looks like her mother. The 9-tailed fox pointed at the girl before him, asking in confusion, "She's your daughter with Master Xianxian?" Thinking, "I was only gone for 10 days. How did Master Xianxian have such a big daughter? And with this demon Lord Qiyin, no less." The 9-tailed fox exclaimed, "Impossible! Absolutely impossible." Their eyes exchanged lightning-quick glances. The 9-tailed fox said, "I think this child must be a puppet you created using forbidden techniques, made in Master Xuanxuan's image." The man retorted, "How ridiculous! We Demon Clan are born with strong powers. Why would I need to practice forbidden techniques?" The two argued endlessly. The 9-tailed fox said anxiously, "I swear, without my Fox Clan's heart blood tonight, Master Xuanxuan's life will be in danger. If you truly have any feelings left for her, hand her over quickly." The woman then remembered that tonight was the full moon, when Chian's red fire mark would activate. The mark would flare up. During the full moon, when the red fire mark activates, the woman feels like thousands of ants, burrowing into her heart with pain. The 9-tailed fox told the man, "You and Master are incompatible as a mortal and demon. Leaving the Demon Clan's red fire mark in her body is practically killing her. Every full moon, she's tortured by the mark to the point of wanting death. If not for my Fox Clan's heart blood keeping her alive, Master Xianxian would be dead already." Only then did the man understand how much damage the red fire mark caused the woman. The 9-tailed fox grabbed the man's collar, pressing forward. "Qiyin, where exactly is Master Xianxian?" The woman was in unbearable pain and just wanted to leave quickly. She absolutely couldn't let Qiyin discover her identity. The woman being held by the man put on an obedient expression and said, "I want lamb, braised deer tail with pork knuckle, and roasted duckling with gosling. The nine-tailed fox was stunned. How did this little girl know the secret code between him and Master Xianxian? Could this little girl be Master Xianxian? The nine-tailed fox reached out to block the man's path. Xian Tianji's condition was getting worse. The nine-tailed fox said urgently, "You can go, but the child must stay." The man stood firm, saying, "My daughter with Xian Tianji. How could I leave her with you?" The nine-tailed fox looked carefully and saw the man was covered in wounds. He should be able to handle him now. He immediately threw a blue-white flame at Qi Yin. The man thought finding Xian Tianji was more urgent and couldn't afford a prolonged fight. He had to end this quickly. Just as he was about to strike, someone outside the cave shouted, "Demon Lord Qi Yin, come out at once." The elder of Xuanji Palace had already been waiting with his disciples for some time. Looking at the crowd before him, the man grew even more furious. Throwing the woman to the nine-tailed fox, he said, "Little fox, take care of her for me. I'll be back soon." The nine-tailed fox looked at the suffering woman and said sympathetically, "My master Xianxian, what have you been through?" Shi Muang used his prepared spell. Energy spheres spread like lightning around the man. The man shouted, "Death to those who stand in my way." The scene descended into chaos, leaving the area in complete disarray. The man said menacingly, "Those who don't want to die, get out of my way." Shirhen said, "Today I'll use your flesh and blood to sacrifice for my demon clan." The Xuanji Palace disciples stood in front of the princess. Shi Muang rushed forward with his sword to confront Qi Yin. The man said, "Sure, this is a personal grudge between us. Back then, my demon clan was framed by the divine clan, who stole the sacred book. The demon clan was massacred, all thanks to your father. Don't interfere." Shi Muang coldly replied, "Being born a demon is original sin. You deserve to die." The man sneered, "Ha, false accusations. You think you can take my life? You haven't even finished speaking." The divine and demonic forces clashed, creating a scene of ice and fire. At this time, the red fire mark in Xian Tianji's heart grew increasingly unbearable. The nine-tailed fox took Xian Tianji under a tree. He then inserted his hand into his chest, drawing blood from his fingertips and letting it drip into her mouth. The woman lay on the ground, slowly regaining peace. After giving his heart blood, the fox was now very weak. Unable to hold on, he collapsed. The woman was covered in sweat, constantly calling Qian's name. In her mind, memories kept surfacing of her first meeting with young Qi Yin. Back then, Xian Tianji came to a dilapidated thatch hut. Opening the door, she was surprised to find Qi Yin severely wounded, lying in a pile of straw. Seeing how badly injured he was, the woman prepared to treat him. When the man woke up and found a human before him, he grabbed her throat and lifted her up, asking, "Who are you? What do you want?" Xian Tianji said pitifully that she only wanted to stop his bleeding. The man hesitated. He finally put Xian Tianji down, puzzled that such a weak human would want to save him. The two chatted happily in the room. The girl asked, "Are you from a celestial clan?" The boy hid the truth. "I'm just a weak star." At that moment, the boy didn't know why. He was afraid to reveal his demon identity. Looking at the girl's pure and innocent face, perhaps he feared she would hate him. Those who came to clear the Demon Rain Island discovered Qi Yin and severely wounded the boy. On a stormy night, Xuanji Palace lost balance, preparing to exterminate all demons. They told the girl, "This person before you is the demon Qi Yin. Her own parents were once harmed by demons." The girl looked in disbelief at the boy lying on the ground. The boy struggled to stand up and said, "Shui, I was wrong to trust." Shirhen said mercilessly, "Die with this anger." Suddenly thunder and lightning struck, and Qi Yin died miserably under Shirhen's sword. The girl watched this scene and fell to her knees. Shirhen came to the girl and said, "I kindly advise you, miss. Demons are evil. Killing them is the best strategy. Take care of yourself." After speaking, he left with his spoils of war, leaving the girl standing alone in place. She firmly believed that demons weren't necessarily evil. She believed Qi Yin was different from others. She immediately followed Shirhen. Shirhen arrived at Dusei's path. At the foot of Shua Mountain, corpses were scattered everywhere. These were all demon clan members who died tragically from divine poison. She witnessed Shirhen heartlessly discard Qi Yin in this Shua Mountain. She could only watch helplessly, unable to do anything. Xuanji Palace's demon-subduing formation was an extremely cruel punishment. The demon clan suffered greatly from this punishment back then. This formation would drain people's spirits, making them kill each other. Chien's parents died from this formation. Now, would they use such cruel punishment on Chien too? It seemed the only solution was to destroy it with her immortal arts. The woman took out a pill. At this moment, the system appeared, warning that she couldn't take any more pills, or the effectiveness would become shorter and shorter. The woman knew clearly what she was doing. She said, "I've already taken it once. I don't want to take it a second time." Without hesitation, she swallowed the pill. Shi Yin was severely wounded now, blood flowing from his mouth. But he still called out Xian Tianji's name. "You must wait for me to recover." The woman threw out a circle of blessed jade artifacts to break the Xuanji Palace formation. Seeing her staggering from excessive spellcasting, the nine-tailed fox rushed toward the woman. Looking at the man behind her, the woman asked, "Murong, are you all right?" The man replied, "With Master Xian's heart-protecting spell, I'm naturally fine." The demon formation and a special immortal art converged, releasing powerful energy. Shi Hung watched in disbelief, saying, "It's impossible for anyone to destroy the demon-subduing formation." Looking at the falling blessings, why did they seem so familiar? Under the moonlight, Xian Tianji descended from the sky. The two, fighting fiercely, stopped their battle. The woman came before the man, protecting Qi Yin behind her. Shi Hung said irritably, "You, a celestial immortal, actually protecting this demon remnant." The woman said, "I never judge good and evil by race. Though Qi Yin is a demon, he has never harmed anyone." Shi Hin, with the Xintian Palace people, said, "As a demon, his crimes are countless. Medical immortal, if you insist on protecting him, don't blame us for being impolite." Shi Yin rushed to protect the woman, saying, "If you want to do something, come at me alone." Then Shi Muang blocked the way, shouting, "Father, stop! Don't hurt Xian." The nine-tailed fox also stood in front, saying sharply, "To harm my master, you must get through me first." Shi Hin angrily rebuked, "Shi Muang, get out of the way. Would you betray the righteous path for such a woman? We've prepared so long for this day. Would you let all our efforts go to waste?" Shi Muang closed his eyes and said, "Father, you deliberately schemed to have me bring Xian back to the palace to lure Qi Yin into a trap. For such despicable means, I'd rather see it fail." Shi Hin, still unrepentant, said, "Killing demons is righteous. If you insist on this path, I'll disown you as my son." Then he ordered, "Disciples, kill these four immediately. Show no mercy." Qi Yin instructed the two behind him, "Quickly take Xian Tianji away first." The nine-tailed fox turned back, saying, "Master Xian, quickly take Qi Yin away. I'll handle this." Shi Muang also shouted, "Xian, run quickly." Seeing the demon-subduing formation regathering, the woman shouted, "Qi Yin, you must leave immediately." The medicine could only maintain Xian Tianji's extension for half an hour. He couldn't waste any more time now and had to end this quickly. Xintian Palace suffered heavy casualties. The woman grabbed the man's hand, preparing to take him away. Qi Yin shook off the woman's hand, saying, "Since you've ignored me now, today I must kill Shi Hung." The woman couldn't stop the man before her, but worse still, the medicine's effects were wearing off. She had no choice but to take another pill from her waist pouch to get through this period. The woman hadn't noticed the scene unfolding behind her. A sword snatched away the woman's medicine bag containing the pills. Qingshu said, "Sister Xian has always kept this pouch that guards the demon realm. I wonder if it contains some treasure. Little sister is curious to see what it is." The woman suddenly panicked. Qingshu rushed toward the woman, saying, "Sister, let me help you check." Xian Tianji thought this woman was truly troublesome and decided to teach her a lesson today. She then used blood lotus arts to bind the woman tightly. Qin Shizi screamed in pain. At this time, Xian Tianji came behind Qi Yin, seeing the tree root sword stabbing toward the man. She quickly moved in front of the man, blocking it with a talisman just in time. She grabbed the man's hand and took him away from the scene. The woman lying in the man's arms looked very uncomfortable. The man asked worriedly, "What's wrong? Are you hurt somewhere?" Unexpectedly, Shi Hung and his people caught up. The man handed the woman to the nine-tailed fox and faced the battle alone. Qin Shizi pursued relentlessly. The man said through gritted teeth, "This woman really won't give up. If it weren't for protecting Master Xian, I would have torn her apart with my tiger claws long ago." King chuchotait soit formation buich démon. This time, she was determined to eliminate Xian Tian. As danger approached, the nine-tailed fox held the woman tightly in his arms. The tree root sword pierced deeply into a white monster's body. The monster howled in pain. The man turned to look behind. It instantly frightened him to his core. The monster approached Qing Shu, making her tremble in fear. With one swing of its tail, it threw her against a tree. The man held the girl in his arms tightly, wondering what kind of monster this was with such incredible strength. Suddenly, a howl came from the forest. The man looked in the direction of the sound, worried. Earlier, Xian Tianji was taken in that direction by the fox. Could it be? The man rose and rushed toward the direction of the strange sound. Shi Heng seized the opportunity and threw his flying sword at the man's back. The flying sword pierced through the man's body. Would this fate be the same as before? The man's eyes turned blood red as he finally erupted. Shi Heng watched in disbelief as the man's aura suddenly changed. The man instantly transformed, growing multiple demon claws from his back, saying, "If that's how it must be, today I shall play along with you all." Pointing his sword at Shi Heng, he said, "Today I'll settle both old and new grudges with you." Shi Heng was full of doubts at this moment. How did Qian's power suddenly become so strong? If this continues, he would surely die. In this critical moment, Shi Heng had to use his stolen technique. Looking at the two people in the distance, Shi Moyang wondered why his father's movements were so strange. The man mockingly said, "This game should end now." The poisonous intent from the tree roots, along with Shi Heng's accessories, stabbed toward him. Shi Moyang saw the dangerous situation. Just as Shi Heng thought his life would end there, Shi Moyang appeared, blocking the fatal sword strike. Shi Moyang spat blood and asked, "Qian, let me take this sword strike. Are you satisfied?" The man dismissed it completely, saying, "Are you trying to perform a father-son drama in front of me? Unfortunately, I'm not satisfied. I never like others taking the punishment." The man lightly curled his fingers, saying, "That old fool's debt must be repaid through him." Then he mercilessly pulled the sword from the man's chest. The man leisurely crossed his legs and said, "Ghost-locking purgatory, taste the terror of hell." A giant beast circled overhead in the night sky. The beast landed and roared loudly. Shi Moyang immediately recognized it as Tu Wu, one of the four ancient fierce beasts. Shi Heng couldn't understand. "Impossible. I definitely killed this beast that day. It couldn't still be alive." The beast grabbed the man's arm and quickly flew away. The man angrily said, "Demon race and fierce beasts have always not interfered with each other. You forced me to do this." The man was about to teach them a lesson. At this time, the girl sitting on Tao Wu said, "Qian, father, don't hurt him. He's trying to save you." As the man was confused, the girl continued, "This is Mother's pet. Mother went to the South Sea to gather herbs and told Xian to take father to a safe place. Father must behave well." The man had to comply, thinking, I really can't do anything about you all." As the girl reached out to pull the man up, seeing the nine-tailed fox still sitting behind, the man said displeasedly, "Stinky fox, why are you here too?" At this moment, Xian Tianji clearly felt Ben's body shrinking. Without their mount, the three began falling rapidly. The woman then realized there was no spiritual power protecting them. "Won't this fall kill me?" The man looked down, his expression changing. As if remembering something, corpses were scattered everywhere. "Isn't this Du Shuo Mountain, known throughout the 6 realms?" Thinking of the girl who was thrown here by Shi Heng years ago, suffering inhumanly, it was terrifying to contemplate. The man desperately tried to grab the woman, but due to the rapid falling speed, the distance between them grew larger. At this time, the Sea King system appeared, saying, "Great news! Congratulations, immortal. You will soon obtain the eagle attribute." The woman was confused, wondering what the eagle attribute was. The system prompted, "Immortal, have you forgotten so quickly? You need to find your old flame to absorb power. Otherwise, without spiritual power, you'll meet a terrible end. Below your feet is the dreaded Du Shuo Mountain that terrifies the 6 realms. Your old flame Minghe is here." The system told her, "You must take Minghe's heart within 7 days and travel together on the night of Yu. Only then can you safely pass through. Otherwise, your luck will keep getting worse." Not giving the woman time to react, it immediately disappeared. A large hand landed on the woman's waist. Holding her in his arms, he curiously asked, "Who were you just talking to? Are you scared?" The woman looked at the man with a sympathetic expression. Thinking about how Qian was thrown into this Shuo Mountain years ago, what did he experience to become like this now? She wanted to understand everything about him. The man was about to take the woman away from this place, but his hand was caught by the ghost mist pervading Du Shuo Mountain. Even the pet Ben Ben and the nine-tailed fox weren't spared. The man held the girl in his arms and said kindly, "I wish you to leave this place. If you have nowhere to go, return to your mother's immortal mansion first." The woman held on to the man, saying, "Xian Xian." "No, Xian wants to stay with Father Qian." At this moment, eerie laughter came from behind. The woman heard this familiar voice. She wondered if it was really his doing. The ghost mist wrapped around the woman's waist, then lifted her up. Seeing the dangerous situation, the man shouted, "Be careful." The woman suddenly felt panic. She wasn't ready to meet him yet. A handsome man with horns appeared, ordering the evil spirits behind him, "Start the fire and prepare the pot. Our food has arrived." The man revealed a satisfied smile, saying, "This is the taste I've been longing for." The two were trapped in a large pot, while the group of evil spirits in front prepared to eat them. The horned man angrily said, "Want to eat? I'm afraid you don't have that ability. Hand over Xian quickly, or I won't be polite anymore." The scene descended into chaos. In just a few moves, he knocked down all the pretentious little demons. The man grabbed one and asked, "Where is your ghost lord?" The little demon fearfully answered, "He's naturally in the Ming-Yin Palace." The man thought, wasn't Ming-Yin Palace that old fellow's territory? How did Ghost Lord Ming-He take it? Corpses were visible everywhere in Ming-Yin Palace. He thought Ming-He had always been clean. How did he end up in such a disgusting place? The man leaned close to the girl and asked, "Does it smell bad here?" The woman was angry but dared not speak, thinking, isn't that obvious? It's absolutely terrible. Then the man asked again, "Little one, why do you have the same scent as the immortal Xian Tianji? Tell me carefully, or you'll end up like the corpses behind me." The woman tremblingly said, "Because Xian is his biological daughter. Naturally the scent is the same." The man thought for a moment. No wonder, so you're Xian Tianji's daughter. When the man processed this news, it hit him like a thunderbolt. What did you just say? You're Xian Tianji's biological daughter? He even has a child? The man burst into tears. I became a master for him and specially came to Du Shuo Mountain for training. How could he have a child with someone else? The woman helplessly tried to comfort him from the side. The man turned and pointed at the girl. He said, "If I eat you, Xian Tianji won't have a daughter anymore." The woman was speechless, thinking his logic was too bizarre. Suddenly, a mass of ghost mist enveloped the girl before she could react. The woman didn't understand why she was suddenly about to be eaten. The man showed his fangs with a fierce expression. The frightened woman shouted, "Father Shiyan, save me." At this moment, the man seemed to hear the woman's desperate cry and was startled. The two people and the dog were on their way to Ming-Yin Palace. The nine-tailed fox anxiously asked, "Evil demon, can you do it? Where exactly is Ming-Yin Palace?" The man irritably replied, "Wild fox, stop nagging. The paths here change every day. Can't you see I'm trying to figure it out?" The two argued continuously along the way. At this time, a pair of eyes appeared behind them, staring intently at the two. The man leaned down to smell. Indeed, it's exactly the same as Xian Tianji's. He unconsciously took a lick, indeed fragrant and tender. The man suddenly became flustered. "Oh no, this little girl is so fair and tender. I really can't bring myself to eat her." But thinking carefully, since this girl is Xian Tianji's illegitimate daughter, she absolutely cannot be allowed to live. He was struggling whether to eat her or not. Then he thought about her being Xian Tianji's daughter. And that night when I was so intimate with her, could this girl be? While the man was still immersed in the joy of that night, the girl was thinking about quickly getting the life-saving medicine bowl. The man suddenly realized, yes, she must be the child of Xian Tianji and me. It must be so. The woman became uneasy, thinking, oh crap, here's another one wanting to be my father. The man held the girl in his arms and showered her with kisses. The woman thought this was fine for now. At least her life was saved. Looks like she had to use her life-saving trick of acting pitiful again. With tears in her eyes, she said pitifully, "Oh, you and father just now, you really scared Xian." The man's eyes lit up, excitedly saying, "Father? Did you just call me father?" He picked up the girl and hugged her wildly. Then he ordered his subordinates, "I'm in a good mood today. Go carve those food items into flowers and serve them." The woman pleaded, "You and father are all my companions. Father, please don't eat them." The man picked up the woman, questioning, "One is a wild fox from Qingxiu. One is the leader of the demon clan. They're your companions?" The woman replied, "Yes, mother entrusted them to take care of Xian." The man looked displeased. Why should my daughter be entrusted to them? The woman took the opportunity to say, naturally, because mother couldn't find you and father. Speaking of which, shouldn't father be in Ghost City thousands of miles away? How did you become king of Dushuo Mountain? The man grumbled, it's all your mother's fault. I waited for her in Ghost City for a year, only to find out she went behind my back to find that demon Qian. The man said through gritted teeth, your mother just liked his strong magic powers. Now I've become the master of this Shuo Mountain. Aren't I much more powerful than a little demon? Since that demon is here today, I'll let my precious daughter witness who is truly stronger. Meanwhile, at the foot of the mountain, the two people's path was blocked by a row of branches. The man warned, be careful, these branches are all poisonous. The nine-tailed fox said dismissively, what's there to fear? She raised a fireball, preparing to destroy all these branches. The burned branches not only remained unaffected, but grew even more vigorously. At the dining table, the man prepared a lavish dinner and picked up a piece of meat for the girl to eat. Looking at the strange-smelling meat before her, she thought one bite of this would surely send her to meet the king of hell. The girl reluctantly said, if Xian eats this, would you and father spare my companions? I'll have to take this gamble. The man's eyes sharpened, saying seriously, are you threatening father? The girl hugged the man's leg. With an obedient expression, she said, father, Xian isn't threatening you. It's just that they've been very good to me. Mother said we shouldn't repay kindness with enmity. Surely father doesn't want to disobey mother's words. Seeing this, the man had no choice but to give up. The girl showed a satisfied expression and said, thank you, father. At this moment, a woman with a fierce expression entered carrying a pot of tea. Seeing this, the man hid behind the girl, trembling as he said, Ruan Xen, just put it on the table. The man thought, if Xian Tianji knew about his relationship with Ruan Xin, he would be in big trouble. The man picked up the girl and said, Ruan Xin, this is my child with Xian Tianji. Isn't Xian adorable? The woman looked closer and said, so this is Ghost Lord and Sister Xian's child. Indeed, lovely and clever, making people like her at first sight. Xian Tianji looked puzzled. Nan Ruan Xing used to be in the same heavenly realm as me, disappeared a year ago, so she came to this place. Nan Ruan Xing smiled and said, Sister Xian, there are many delicious things here. Would you like some? The woman thought for a moment. The Heavenly Emperor has been asking me to track his whereabouts. I might as well take this chance to find out. She was then carried away by Nan Ruan Xing, leaving the man standing there dumbfounded. The woman thought, now that we're in Minghe's territory, as long as he doesn't go after Qi Yin and the others, they should be safe. The urgent matter now is to quickly understand why Nan Ruan Xing became a fallen immortal and reunite with them as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the beast tomb blocking the two people suddenly stopped growing. The man then realized if this was Minghe's doing, there could only be one reason for him to stop Xian. The nine-tailed fox worried. Now that Master Xian has no spiritual power, to save us, I hope nothing happened to her with that old lover Minghe. Xian Tianji took the opportunity to ask, Sister, your scent is so fragrant, completely different from the ghosts here. Nan Ruan Xin told the girl she was once in the heavenly realm, just like her mother. Xian Tianji asked curiously, then why is Sister here? Nan Ruan Xin said proudly, it's all because of the Ghost Lord. He insisted I stay to keep him company. Seeing him lonely, I was bewitched. The woman felt awkward, realizing he became a fallen immortal because of Minghe. It seemed they had been together for a while. Nan Ruan Xing said proudly, the Ghost Lord said he would marry only me in this life, and on the night of joy, he'll make me the happiest bride in the 3 realms. What Nan Ruan Xing didn't know was that Minghe had said exactly the same words to Xian Tianji. Nan Ruan Xin pretended to say, Xian, remember not to tell your mother, okay? The woman in her arms was speechless, thinking, knowing I'm Minghe and Xian Tianji's daughter, yet still saying such things in front of me. How interesting. Then the woman asked, Sister, are you going to be my stepmother? Nan Ruan Xing hurriedly explained, No. I just want to spend my life with the Ghost Lord. I have no intention of challenging Sister Xian's position. Jumping down from the woman's arms with a dissatisfied look. After all these years, this woman hasn't changed at all, still being two-faced. Back then, when she witnessed him breaking Master's most precious magical artifact, when Master questioned it, she pushed all the blame onto me. I was punished to copy text 100 times. She promised to help, but I copied all night while she slept soundly beside me. She really could sleep with a clear conscience. Leaving Nan Ruanxing behind, she said carelessly, I wish sister and father a happy 100 years together, and many children. Nan Ruanxing was confused. Why was this little girl so indifferent? Shouldn't she be crying to Ming He and telling Xian Tianji about this? The woman thought there was no point staying here. Better to quickly reunite with Qi Yin. She was then picked up by Nan Ruanxing again. The man behind complained, This Nan Ruanxing is depriving me of time with my precious daughter. He wondered if she had told Xian about their affair. That year, after getting drunk and waking up, he found Nan Ruanxing disheveled in his bed. If Xian found out about this, he would be finished. Nan Ruanxing maliciously carried the girl to a blood pool, planning to throw the girl into the pond. The woman pretended to fall, preparing to throw her into the boiling blood pool. The woman had already seen through Nan Ruanxing's scheme. Seeing the situation worsen, the man rushed generously towards the girl. Xian Tianji seized the chance to grab Nan Ruanxing's hair. Tightly holding the woman's head, Nan Ruanxing fell to her knees in pain. Xian Tianji deliberately said, That was close, sister. Xian almost fell into the water. The rushing man fell into the blood pool with a splash. The power of this blood pool was indeed strong, making the man hiss in pain. The woman ran towards the injured man. Nan Ruanxing came forward to comfort him, wanting to apply medicine, but the man said irritably, You can't even take care of a 3-year-old child. How can I trust you? He left with the girl, leaving the woman standing alone. In the room, the girl crawled to the man, preparing to apply medicine. The man looked shy. Looking at his wounds, she wondered puzzledly how he got so many injuries. The Sea King system reminded her, Fairy, this is a good chance to take Ming He's heart. The man said melancholically, Xian's technique is very skilled, just like your mother's. The Sea King system kept encouraging from behind. The girl looked helpless, thinking she was originally from the first realm. How could she harm others for her own survival? Suddenly there was movement behind them. The man stood up shouting, Who's there? Shi Yin burst in, shouting, Minghe, hand over Xian quickly, or I'll level your Linning Palace. Looking at the girl in the man's arms, the man erupted in anger. Minghe, you dare bully my daughter? I won't let you off. At this moment, both the girl in his arms and the man couldn't help but show confused expressions. Both of them became furious instantly. The woman shouted to stop them. Everyone stop! All you know is fighting. Can't you talk peacefully? The three immediately stopped and simultaneously looked at the girl before them. The girl said innocently, Mother told Xian that fighting is bad. Looking at the man before her, Qi Yin questioned, Ninghe, why are you here? Ninghe showed a smug expression. Naturally, because I defeated the original owner and took over this place. The man mocked. You think you could defeat the master of Du, Shua Mountain? This angered Ming He greatly. He finished speaking and prepared to leave with the girl. The man threw a poison needle, shouting, Leave Xian here. Qi Yin didn't take the man seriously at all. The poison needle dissipated upon contact. The man turned and sneered. With just these petty tricks, you think you could take over Duyin Mountain? The girl said obediently, Qi Yin, father, please take me away from here. At this moment, the Sea King system suddenly appeared, warning, Fairy, you absolutely must not. Du Shua Mountain's energy is extremely heavy. Even if you leave, you'll gradually grow weaker. Only Ming He's heart can fully resolve this situation. No matter how much the system pressured her, the woman knew she couldn't do it. Just as the system was about to speak again, the woman shouted, Shut up! Disappear! The man asked concernedly, Xian, what's wrong? The woman rubbed her eyes, saying, There was a flying insect. It was annoying. Ming He showed a puppy-like, pleading expression, watching the two people leave. Seeing the man's expression, the woman recalled the scene when she broke up with Ming He years ago. It was because she was fooled by this same expression that it took her half a year to finally decide to break up with him. Now he's showing the same face again. At this crucial moment, Mingyin Palace's gates closed. The man clapped his hands in satisfaction. The man came before the girl, saying, Why don't we rest here tonight? Tomorrow when the gates open, father will send Xian away. It seemed there was no other choice now. Qi Yin said impatiently, I am this child's father. Ming Yi provoked. This child keeps calling me Ming, he fathers so happily. Their eyes clashed like lightning. Qi Yin angrily said, Say that again. Ming Yi fearlessly replied, I can say it several times. She calls me Ming Yi father. How about that, Ming Yi father? The woman turned her head aside, sighing, Love triangle? I'm really tired. Nan Ruan Xin hid behind the door, taking in everything happening inside. The woman clenched her fists, saying defiantly, Lord Ming He, Demon Chi Yin, Chiu Merong Xian Tianji, you're really having fun, aren't you? I don't believe Nan Ruan Xing, will always be beneath you. The woman stepped forward, instantly changing her expression to appear harmless, asking, Ghost Lord, do we have guests? The man instructed, These are honored guests. Treat them well for me. The woman said with ill intent, I will certainly take good care of them. Nan Ruan Xing led the way for them. Since Nan Ruan Xing belonged to the same immortal sect as Xian Tianji before becoming a fallen immortal, the nine-tailed fox was quite familiar with Nan Ruan Xing. She went forward to greet the woman. The woman claimed that years ago, she came down to Earth to cure illnesses and help people, met the injured Ming He, and stayed here since then. At this time, Ming He came over carrying the girl, saying, Now the entire Du Shua mountain is mine. Qi Yin asked irritably, Ming He, are you sure? Did you really kill the master of Du Shua mountain back then? The man replied smugly, Of course. Back then, with just one palm strike, I completely destroyed him, leaving no trace of life. The woman jumped down from the man's arms. She came to Qi Yin and asked, Father, is something wrong? Nan Ruan Xion's face darkened. One moment it's Ming He father, the next Qi Yin father. This Xian Tianji has been with so many men, she doesn't even know who her child's father is. She picked up the girl again and deliberately said, As a girl, it's not convenient for you to live with these men. After all, Sister Xian has many blessings. It's still uncertain. Which man is your real father? Qi Yin agreed. That's true. First there was Shi Luoyang, then Ghost Lord Ming He and Xian Tianji. Such great fortune with men indeed. Xian Tianji hurriedly tried to explain. Nan Ruan Xian stirred up more trouble. Sister once told me she wanted to be intimate with no less than 10 men in this life, to taste all kinds of men. The next second, with a slap, the girl struck the woman's face. Nan Ruan Xing showed a fierce, gritting teeth expression. Xian Tianji pretended to be frightened, crying and repeatedly calling Qi Yin father. The man had never comforted children before and was at a loss. He gently placed his hand on the woman's head, stroking the girl with satisfaction. Out of helplessness, Nan Ruan Xin kept apologizing. The man said coldly, This child is Xian Tianji's precious treasure, and also mine. A simple apology seems too easy. Nan Ruan Xin provoked. The child's father might not necessarily be you, Demon Lord. The man replied, So what? As long as it belongs to Xian Tianji, I will cherish it dearly. The woman was immediately put in her place. Ming Yi pulled the woman behind him and defended. Since Nan Ruan Xian has arrived, what more do you want? Don't forget this is my territory. The man revealed why Xian Tianji didn't choose Ming He. I, Qi Yin, can stand by Xian Tianji's side regardless of consequences, even if it means opposing the 6 realms. But Ming He cannot. The man was suddenly startled. Then he asked, Xian, between me and Qi Yin, who do you choose? The atmosphere immediately became tense. Before the woman could speak, the man said, Is that even a question? Who does she look for first when she cries? Isn't it obvious? Ming Yi turned around, grabbed Nan Ruan Xion's hand and headed out, saying, Ruan Xion, go prepare. In 2 days, on the moonless night, I will take you as my wife. The woman lay on the bed sighing. This man was saying he missed me one moment, then the next he's going to marry another woman. But Ming Yi had instructed that I must find mother to come, saying there are important matters to discuss. The woman took out the pill again, thinking about returning to her original form to end things with him. The medicine system suddenly appeared to speak up for the woman. Startled, the woman swallowed the pill. The woman instantly returned to Xian Tianji's appearance. At this moment, poisonous vines appearing on the wall caught her attention. The woman carefully moved outside the door, only to find the vines growing even more vigorously outside. When the woman turned around, these vines tried to attack her. The woman threw several talismans and burned the vines. Thinking these things would attack people and cause trouble in the city, she decided to follow the vines to find their source and destroy it. Following the vines, she unknowingly arrived at Qi Yan's room. She realized this was bad. She chanted Spirit Ape Slash and completely destroyed the vines. At this time, the man inside the room heard the commotion outside. At this time, the woman was very tired due to excessive spiritual energy consumption and prepared to hide back in her room. Suddenly, a red rope tightened around her waist. The man sat leisurely on the bed and said, "Isn't this the famous celestial immortal, Xian Tianji? What brings you to Mount Duasuan?" The woman could only use a smile to hide her embarrassment. With a gentle finger movement, the rope tightened. He turned and pinned the woman down, asking, "How was the South Sea?" Then followed up with, "Does your precious daughter Xian have anything to do with me?" The woman's face flushed as she answered, "Of course, you're her father." Gripping her hand tightly, he pressed, "Perfect. Let's take advantage of tonight to add a boy. A complete pair of children. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" The woman showed resistance, suggesting he untie the rope for a more enjoyable long night. The man had already seen through her intentions. Having finally caught her, he couldn't let her escape. The man leaned close and said, "In this life and forever, you'll never escape my grasp." The woman blushed, seeing how this man gave her all his dominance, obsession, and tenderness. As they were immersed in the moment, the system appeared urging, "Immortal, now is the best moment to dual cultivate with Qi Yin." The woman bit the man's lip. He released her in pain, teasing, "So you like these moves now?" The man lifted her chin gently, saying suggestively, "No matter, this king can satisfy such techniques too." Half an hour was approaching, and the woman would soon revert to child form. But the man was at his most enthusiastic moment. Now, she could only hope her Morong Guai Guai would come to rescue her. Meanwhile, the nine-tailed fox was drooling, sound asleep. Bang! The door was suddenly pushed open. The woman secretly rejoiced. "Is it you?" Morong Guai Guai opened the door saying, "Unexpected Xian, meeting after so many years in such a special way." The man quickly withdrew the rope from the woman's body. Holding her tightly, he looked at Ming He and said, "Didn't expect the Ghost Lord to have such a peculiar habit of watching others' intimate moments. My passionate play with Xian Tianji. If the Ghost Lord had any sense, he should have left on his own." The man asked dejectedly, "Xian, I just want to hear clearly from you. Who's the one in your heart?" The man blocked the woman, saying, "What's the point of asking such things when you're about to marry? Xian Tianji traveled thousands of miles from the South Sea to see me. Isn't that clear enough?" Mingyi became furious and was about to fight the man. The man quickly protected the woman in his arms. Their eyes locked in mutual hostility, battle imminent. The woman prepared to seize the chance to slip away. Suddenly something caught her attention. Behind Ming, he was a terrifying ghost mask. In an instant, the woman reverted to child form. When the powerless girl looked at Ming He again, the mask had vanished. She must remove this strange mask. Taking out her medicine bag, it seemed this was the only way now. At this time, the woman outside discovered the secret of Xian Tianji's loss of power. She took out a pill and prepared to swallow it. Nan Ruan Xian struck the woman's pill with one palm, destroying it. She said smugly, "Sister Xian, I thought it was something strange, so I accidentally destroyed it. Sister Xian won't blame me, right?" The woman was on high alert. That strike was so precise. Could this male Ruan Xian be trying to kill her? Male Ruan Xian immediately cast dark magic, throwing it at the woman. Xian Tianji took out another pill and quickly swallowed it. The woman, restored to her form, used the heavenly lotus technique, ready to teach Nan Ruan Xian a lesson. The woman suddenly felt terrified. Clusters of heavenly lotus tightly bound the woman. The door was pushed open. Nan Ruan Xian was thrown in violently. The two people behind were thoroughly frightened. Nan Ruan Xian knelt on the ground, putting on a victim's appearance, saying, "Sister Xian, I'm sorry. You can scold me or hit me, but please don't hurt the Ghost Lord." The man was excited, thinking the woman was jealous of him. The ghost mask on the man's face grew darker. The woman immediately threw out a circle of divine power, preparing to destroy it. Male Ruan Xian blocked in front of the man, was struck by the divine power. The man held the woman lovingly. Male Ruan Xian's scheme succeeded. "I saved you. Let's see how you can push me away now." The woman was panicked. Why did the ghost mask suddenly disappear? Crisis averted, the woman was now exhausted. She prepared to find a place to rest well and return to child form. At this moment, her waist was bound by another rope. The woman sensed trouble. The next second, she was embraced by the man, who asked, "Leaving me aside for so long, you want to run away like this? Isn't that too heartless?" At this time, The nine-tailed fox walked in drowsily, rubbing its eyes. Seeing the scene before it, instantly became wide awake, looking surprised. The nine-tailed fox seriously pointed at the man, saying, "Shiyin, quickly release my master Xian Xian." Xian Tianji angrily said, "Must you express it so crude? Can't you think of a useful solution?" The man smirked. "I'm afraid I can't release her." Holding the woman, he said tenderly, "Your master Xian Xian still wants to have both a son and daughter." The nine-tailed fox's expression froze, asking, "Master Xian Xian, did you really say that?" The woman hurriedly explained, "This was just a temporary measure." Mingyi felt his heart emptied, realizing all these years he had been deluding himself. In her heart, from beginning to end, there was only Qi Yin. Carrying Nan Ruanxing, he said, "Since the great immortal has condescended to visit, this lord should fulfill his duties as host." As he left, he turned and said, "It's too late tonight. Tomorrow this lord will treat you to good wine and food." Passing by Xian Tianji, he said dejectedly, "You love him deeply, so I'll let you be together." Seeing Mingyi like this, Xian Tianji felt mixed emotions. Nan Ruanxing was furiously embarrassed, saying, "Xian Tianji actually loves the demon Qi Yin. Then what's the meaning of my marriage to Mingyi?" Pushed the man away forcefully, falling to the ground. Kneeling on the ground, with tears streaming down her face, she said, "Sister Xian, please, could you stay until after my wedding with Mingyi? Only with you here can your sister feel at ease." Nan Ruanxing's true purpose was just to keep them for a few more days, so she could capture Qi Yin. Anything that belonged to Xian Tianji, Nan Ruanxing wouldn't let go. Xian Tianji refused the woman's request. Nan Ruanxing had already become a fallen immortal, naturally having no connection with Xian Tianji anymore. Realizing this approach wouldn't work, she schemed again, saying, "At least your daughter Xian Xian likes me as her sister. How about this, Sister Xian? Let me ask Xian Xian's opinion in person." Xian Tianji realized this woman was threatening her. She immediately ordered the nine-tailed fox to bring her daughter from next door. Nan Ruanxing was full of doubt, thinking this impossible. The girl was seen calling mother, still seeming half asleep as she was held in her arms. Nan Ruanxing was stunned, saying, "Xian Xian and Xian Tianji are the same person? How is this possible?" Xian Tianji asked the girl in her arms, "Xian Xian, do you like it here?" The girl reluctantly expressed that she didn't like this place, wanting to leave quickly. Xian Tianji said apologetically, "Sorry, Ruanxing. Xian Xian doesn't want to stay here too long. When the gates open tomorrow, we'll leave." She blessed them. "May you and Mingyi have a loving century together, full of happiness." Male Ruanxing still hadn't figured out what was happening. Just as she turned to take the girl back to sleep, she was called by the man behind. The nine-tailed fox sat on the ground barking. The man asked, puzzled, "Why has your disciple suddenly become like this?" Xian Tianji made excuses. "Murong is sleepwalking. I should take her back to rest soon." The woman grabbed the nine-tailed fox's collar. One hand holding one hand carrying another, she led them out the door. The man looked on lovingly. This girl is still so reckless. Back in the room, the woman's heart hadn't calmed down yet. They were almost discovered. The nine-tailed fox asked, "Master Xian Xian, will there be any problems?" It turned out the girl from earlier was transformed by the nine-tailed fox, while the pet Bimbin had transformed into the nine-tailed fox's form. The woman had held on for so long. Her body had reached its limit, and she fainted. Holding the woman in his arms, he silently vowed, "Master, rest assured, even if it costs my life, I will protect you completely." Meanwhile, knocking sounds woke the man up. Opening the door, he saw male Ruanxing disheveled, maliciously holding a plate of dates, her eyes flashing seductively at the man. She calculated in her mind, "The increased dose of love powder I rushed to make overnight and put in these dates, I don't believe you can resist it later." The man was about to close the door, saying, "I don't eat just anything. Immortal, you'd better take it back." The woman's suspicious kindness scheme had already been seen through by the man. The man mockingly looked at the woman before him. "I am married. It's not appropriate to be alone with you, immortal." Shutting the woman outside, she was rebuffed, but unwilling to give up. She schemed again, knowing the man cared deeply for Xian Tianji, saying, "Demon Lord is so loving and righteous. Ruanxing really can't bear to see Sister Xian keep deceiving you." Sure enough, This topic caught the man's interest. The woman said loudly, "It's nothing. Demon Lord, please forget what I just said. As long as Sister Xian's current love is you, that's all that matters." The man was puzzled. "What do you mean current love? Explain clearly to me." Playing right into the woman's hands, she continued, "When Sister Xian was very young, there was someone in her heart. She hasn't forgotten him all these years." The man asked angrily, "What kind of person was he?" The woman added, "I'm not sure exactly. They say he was a handsome young man. Someone who could make Sister Xian never forget. Must have been a very good person." After speaking, the woman turned and left triumphantly. The man stood there dazed, pondering deeply about Nan Ruan Xian's words. The next day, worried about unnecessary troubles during their departure, Xian Tianji planned to have a nine-tailed fox transform into her appearance again. The woman couldn't help but marvel. Murong's fox magic is indeed powerful. It's exactly the same. However, since the fox transformation could only last half an hour, they had to leave quickly. The nine-tailed fox, transformed as Xian Tianji, felt uncomfortable and stiff all over. Qian put his hand on the woman's shoulder, asking, "Why is your body so tense? Are you afraid of me?" The girl in her arms quickly explained, "Father, don't rush. Mother must be shy." The man said sarcastically, "So that's it? I thought it was because your mother suddenly remembered that young man in her heart and wouldn't let me touch her." The woman looked confused. "What young man?" The man said contentedly, "You know yourself." The nine-tailed fox and the girl in her arms felt helpless, wondering why this man was being jealous again. The man firmly stated, "This time, no matter what, I won't let you escape." Embracing the woman, he said, "That person you can't forget in your heart, I will find a way to replace him. You won't be able to get rid of me in this lifetime." The woman's face darkened as the nine-tailed fox shouted frantically, "You perverted demon, where are you putting your hands? Let go of me quickly." Ninghe and Nan Ruanxing had been waiting there for some time, watching the affectionate couple. Minghe spoke, "Demon Lord, couldn't you be lovey-dovey after we leave?" The man boasted, "Of course not. Could it be that Ghost Lord is acting?" Grabbing Nan Ruan Xian's hand, he said, "Tomorrow is my and Ruan Xian's wedding day. How could there be any jealousy?" The woman behind him was visibly angry. Nan Ruan Xian stepped forward, holding Xian Tianji's hand, asking, "Sister, can't you wait until after my wedding before leaving?" The woman flatly refused. The girl helped by saying, "Annie, yesterday Xian saw you fighting with Mother, but today you're so friendly. Could it be that Andy has some evil intentions?" Lan Ruan Xian hurried to explain, but the two didn't care to hear male Ruan Xian's words. At this time, still waiting for the ghost gate to open, the man felt something was wrong and prepared to open it himself. Unexpectedly, his power was consumed by a mass of evil energy. Suddenly, the moon disappeared and dark clouds filled the sky. The ghost-faced tree appeared in the chaos, saying smugly, "The day of pleasure is about to begin. This place will soon become the land of eternal night, a demon carnival, and naturally, you won't be able to leave." The ghost-faced tree immediately recognized the man before him, saying, "Isn't this the little demon from the demon realm? It's been so long. That person misses you very much." Hearing this news, both were shocked. That person? Could it be that the master of Du Shao Mountain isn't dead? The ghost-faced tree smiled wickedly. Du Shao Mountain is an existence that looks down upon the six realms. How could it possibly die? Now, as sacrifices for the rebirth of Du Shao Mountain's master, you must all die. Then the ghost-faced tree launched an attack against the two. The two were tightly bound by vines. Their necks were pierced, bleeding profusely. Xian Tianji rushed toward the two people in danger. The poisonous vines were gradually draining the man's magical powers. The woman regained her form and joined in. While the ghost-faced tree was still recovering, the nine-tailed fox appeared behind it. One swipe of its claws shattered the ghost-faced tree. Unexpectedly, the ghost-faced tree could regenerate, instantly splitting into two. Seeing that tearing it apart wouldn't work, Xian Tianji suggested burning it. The man immediately threw foxfire trying to burn it, but for the ghost-faced tree, this was merely like a tickle, completely ineffective. Nan Ruanxing came behind the woman, preparing to take advantage and kill Xian Tianji. Just as she was about to deliver the fatal blow to the woman before her, Xian Tianji saw through Nan Ruanxing's intentions and gently turned the talisman in her hand. She deflected the ice spikes back. Nan Ruanxing quickly dodged. Xian Tianji grabbed Nan Ruan Xian's neck, lifting her up saying, You've hurt me multiple times. I'll let it go, yet you still won't stop. The woman argued, Sister Xian, I was trying to hit the ghost face mouse, but I missed. The woman scoffed. Do you take me for a 3-year-old child? Seeing Nanruan Xin still making excuses, Xian Tianji tightened her grip. The woman cursed. Xian Tianji, you crazy dash. The woman threw out a talisman that kept showing her face. Turning to the woman being punished, she said, this is just a lesson. If you dare to have evil thoughts again, Sister will personally rip out that restless tongue of yours. The nine-tailed fox had already consumed considerable energy by this time. The ghost-faced tree was of the Yin nature, so the fox fire was ineffective. It seemed they could only use the heavenly spirit night fire. Just as they were about to act, a bloody hand stopped them. The man, as if possessed, said to the woman, for such a small matter, how could I trouble Dash? The heavenly realm wanted to give the ghost-face tree one chance to open the gates and let everyone leave. The ghost-face tree dismissed this, repeatedly provoking them. The man mercilessly tore the ghost-face tree apart, looking at the furious, merciless, bloodthirsty man before them. This was a side they had never seen before. Petals of spider lilies fell from the sky. These petals transformed into a white-haired elder in red robes, who caressed the man's face, saying, long time no see. Little demon of the demon realm, you've grown more handsome now. Xian Tianji was dumbfounded, wondering where this old lady came from. The two behind looked at the rosy-faced elder in red and admiringly said, this woman is so beautiful. The woman exclaimed in surprise, you're saying this old lady is beautiful? Seeing the woman's hands unconsciously caressing the man's chest, and the man showing no intention of pushing her away, they wondered about this old lady's background. The old lady transformed into Xian Tianji's appearance and asked, I want to be with you forever. Will you marry me? Just as the man was about to speak, Xian Tianji slapped the woman's face, shouting, Shurian, wake up! Gripping the woman's neck tightly. You old hag, how dare you try to steal my man? You must be tired of living. The woman, with seductive red eyes, touched her hand, saying, look closer. Who am I? Suddenly, Xian Tianji was shocked. She was actually gripping young Qian's neck. The man said, I trusted you so much back then, yet you betrayed me. With a bang, the boy in her hands transformed into a spider lily. Most bizarre of all, the woman couldn't move. The woman made a deal with the ghost-faced tree. The woman is yours. The man is mine. The ghost-faced tree came behind the woman, smelling the sweet scent on her body, ready to savor the moment. The next second, the ghost-faced tree was struck hard by a fireball. The man thundered, dare touch my woman? You must be tired of living. The man smugly embraced the woman, saying, I planned to end this quickly earlier, but there was an unexpected pleasure. Who were you saying he was stealing earlier? The woman blushed. You were pretending? The man explained, it was because they transformed into your appearance. I wanted to look longer. The woman decided to finish her off immediately, but was stopped by the man. Not yet. Although we're fine. Your Murong Guai and Mingi are under illusions. We must break the spell before killing this person. They had been following this thousand-face enchantress, completely forgetting about the two behind them. He carried the woman while following the thousand-face enchantress. The woman anxiously asked, you two have followed me all this way. Is there something urgent? Xian Tianji threw out a circle of talismans surrounding the woman. Of course, to kill you. Quickly hand over those two behind you. The two blocked Xian Tianji, protecting the thousand-face enchantress behind them. Seeing this, the woman quickly withdrew her talismans. Now that these two were under the charm spell, she had no way to act. At the crucial moment, the man extended his demon claws to control the two. The man arrogantly said, I, bringing my wife, mercifully came to save you. Stay still. Don't make trouble. Xian Tianji approached the thousand-face enchantress, saying, Old lady, it's over. Stop struggling. She trapped the woman with talismans, knowing she was skilled at tricks. Xian Tianji took out a snow lotus, saying, If you're smart, quickly remove the spell from these two. Although this flower can't bewitch men, it's very bloodthirsty. With your body, you'll become a dried corpse within an hour. The woman scoffed. Ridiculous. You think I'm afraid of you? Several snow lotuses surrounded the woman. Her arrogance instantly vanished. Xian Tianji added, I added something to these snow lotuses. Any place they touch will never heal. Hearing this, the woman quickly begged, I'll remove it. I'll remove it right now. The illusion broke, and the two looked confused. At this moment, the system prompted, "Fairy, this woman is one of the fragments of the Du Shuo Mountain Master. You must kill her to prevent the Master's revival. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to leave this place." Upon hearing this, Xian Tianji was overwhelmed with emotions. To kill someone? When joining the fairy clan, Master taught that heavenly immortals must not kill or shed blood. Violators would face divine punishment. What should be done now? When there seemed to be no solution, the man stepped forward, covering the woman's eyes, saying, "These blood-stained matters, leave them to me." The scene turned bloody, and he quickly disposed of the woman. Even the ghost face tree couldn't escape. The ghost face tree, who had left a mark on Mingi, violently ripped out Mingi's heart. Xian Tianji's face changed drastically, shouting Mingi. The man's chest was instantly covered in blood. He mumbled unclearly, "Ashwan." The woman used light to slow the man's injuries. She prepared to retrieve Mingi's heart. Just as she was about to catch up to the ghost face tree, the system prompted, "Fairy, your body is reaching its limit. Quickly retrieve Mingi's heart and use it. It's urgent." The woman refused. "No, I must save him." At this time, the physically limited woman was panting heavily. At this critical moment, the woman took out 2 pills and swallowed them. The system angrily said, "Truly hopeless." The man appeared just in time, turning to the woman saying, "Wait here for me." After speaking, he rushed towards the direction where Mingi's heart was taken. The man charged forward, blocking the ghost face tree. A flame ignited in his hand as he raged. "Dare to steal in front of me? You must be tired of living." Seeing this formidable man, with one fierce glare, the ghost-faced tree had no chance to escape. It released the heart which the man caught. He rushed back to the woman without delay. Looking at the exhausted woman in his arms, the man asked concernedly, "What's wrong? Why are you so pale?" The woman took the heart. Even standing up was extremely difficult. The man picked her up, saying, "If we run back like this heart might stop beating." After landing safely, looking at the dying man before them, Shiyin gently stroked the woman, saying, "Go." The 9-tailed fox, seeing the woman's pale face, stepped forward with concern. The woman, holding the heart, came before the man, saying, "Don't worry, Ningi, I will heal you." When the heart entered his chest, the body kept rejecting it. The woman was confused. "Why won't it go in?" The man spoke, "Don't bother. When this heart left my body, it no longer belonged to me. Just like you, Ashwan. From the day you left, I should have understood. I lost you forever." Xian Tianji, with tears in her eyes, said, "Ningi, stop talking. I will do everything to save you." The man comforted her. "Don't waste your power. Ashwan, have you forgotten? I am the lord of the ghost city. I cannot die. After sleeping for 100 years, I will wake up again." The man gripped Xian Tianji's hand tightly, saying, "After this ordeal, I finally understand why you chose Qiyin. He can stand by your side unconditionally, unswayed by any external factors. Unlike me, who fell for Thousand-Face Witch's ancient spell. Ashwan, I give this heart to you. It will help strengthen your magic power. In exchange, could you take me away from here? When I wake up after 100 years, I hope the first thing I see will still be that familiar ghost city. I hope I can see you again," the man said before closing his eyes. The woman promised, "I will. I'll come see you in 100 years. The system appeared again, urging, "Fairy, now that Mingi has given you his heart, quickly use it." After using the heart, the woman's complexion became radiant. Her spiritual power also recovered significantly. They couldn't just wait for death. The man prepared to break down the door by force. The man used the Dizhoshan technique, which was quite strenuous. At this time, the 9-tailed fox joined in. Even with their combined strength, they only managed to create a small crack in the door. At the crucial moment, the woman cast a circle of blessings. Chanting incantations, the circles of blessings enveloped the door. Indeed powerful, a large hole was broken in the door. Xian Tianji gestured for the man to leave first, but he refused, saying, "You leave first. I'll go get our daughter and meet up with you." The 9-tailed fox appeared, saying, "No need. I'll take care of Xian. I'll bring her out." While the man hesitated, Xian Tianji spoke up. "Let's go. Let's take Mingi out first. Xian has Murong's good disciple to look after her." After staying in the dark, foul-smelling Dizhoshan for so long, they finally saw light again. The man dragged Mingi behind him with his demon claw, complaining, "Always causing trouble for me." The woman concernedly said, Shurian, don't drop Mingi. The man leaned close, holding the woman's hand, teasing. What? Afraid I'll throw your old lover down to his death. Just then, a red mark between the woman's eyebrows caught the man's attention. The man reached out to touch it. Unexpectedly, the mark bit the man's hand, drawing blood. The woman touched the mark between her brows, wondering, have I mutated? Watching this scene, Nan Ruanxing felt jealous. The ghost cicada was something only people from the ghost prison possessed. How did Xian Tianji have it? The nine-tailed fox caught up with them. Nan Ruanxing put on a pitiful act, saying, Mingi, what happened to you? The woman wanted to take back Mingi's body, but Xian Tianji stopped her, saying, stop pretending you love Mingi in front of me. I've seen through your act. I advise you to leave quickly. You couldn't beat me before, and you can't now. Unless you want another slap. Realizing that Xian Tianji had clearly recovered some spiritual power, and with the Qingxiu fox and demon Lord Qian present, confronting them head-on would surely lead to defeat. She turned and left wisely. After driving away Nan Ruanxing, Xian Tianji said proudly, let's go everyone. We're heading to the Ghost City. The man said jealously, Ghost City? In my opinion, we should just bury him here. At this moment, the nine-tailed fox reminded, Master, the mark on your forehead is opening its mouth again. A quarter hour later, a handsome man with silver-white hair appeared, smirking. Thousand-faced matchmaker has failed. Now it's my turn to take action. At this moment, they discovered the man they were dragging behind had disappeared. Shurian quickly grabbed the falling man, while still complaining, always causing trouble. After landing, they terrified the crowd behind them. People shouted, there's a demon! A demon! The man was puzzled. Do I look that scary? A Taoist priest flew up, taking out a talisman and throwing it at the man, while chanting urgently, Demon! This was trivial for the man. The talisman disappeared as soon as it touched his tears. The Taoist priest panicked, realizing this demon's power was extraordinary. The man sneered, you attacked first, but I don't mind following your words. Someone hiding behind the crowd said, this demon's power is too shallow. Let me find my ancestral master. Another person spoke up. Hasn't your ancestral master already passed away? Seeing his lie exposed, he turned and fled. Xian Tianji appeared asking, Lord Qi, what happened? The nine-tailed fox mocked him from behind for being so slow. Can't even handle such a small matter. How embarrassing. Just then, a familiar voice called from behind. Xian Tianji was startled, wondering why the voice was so familiar. The elegant man in yellow robes said, Sister Schwer. Long time no see. The woman's smile froze on her face. How could she encounter them everywhere in this vast world? The two behind her gave strange looks. Shurian asked, is this another one of your old lovers? At this time, the system appeared saying, Fairy, this is all arranged by me to let you experience. I've put in so much effort. The man stepped forward, holding Xian Tianji's hand, saying, Sister Xianer, I've been thinking of you every moment these past months. The woman thought it strange that Lin Xiangyuan was mortal. She had specifically cast a spell on him when she left. He shouldn't remember me. Seeing this, the man quickly handed Mingi to those behind him to watch over. He stepped forward and embraced Xian Tianji, intimately saying, Wife, is this your friend? Why don't you introduce us? Let your husband meet him. Lin Xiangyuan laughed. Snow's sister and I are old acquaintances. Old friends meeting naturally feels familiar. Sir, you're being too defensive. Not provoking emotions, Lin Xiangyuan added. Sister Schwer is free-spirited. I believe the one she truly admires wouldn't be as suspicious as you. This greatly angered the man. He wanted to use catching up as an excuse, but the woman refused, citing having important matters. This made the man want to remind the woman about their urgent mission. Oi, Zistaksuya. The city is plagued by demons, causing great hardship. I hope Sister Xianer can help after dealing with the medicine. The woman readily agreed. The nine-tailed fox stepped forward concernedly. Master Xuanxuan's spiritual power is very weak now. Catching demons might be difficult. The woman replied, the mortal realm is under heaven's responsibility. This is the duty of those who belong to the heavenly realm. Moreover, this demon specifically targets children. Such cruelty cannot be ignored. The woman comforted, don't worry, dear Moron. I've recovered some of my power now. I can protect myself. Seeing Mingi safe in the nine-tailed fox's dimensional pouch, she felt somewhat relieved. Now there was another thorny issue. Looking at Chayan's displeased face in the distance, who hadn't spoken a word earlier, she wondered if he was angry with her. A group of wandering spirits appeared, surrounding the woman's body. The man quickly embraced her, saying, since there are spirits about, the ghost city must be nearby. Hold on to me tight. Seeing his careful attention, The woman consoled him. Anger harms the body. For your health, please don't be angry. The man scoffed. Even this woman is upset. I truly have nothing with them. I can swear on my divine status. As long as you're not angry, I'll do anything you want. The man leaned close to the woman, saying, actually, thinking carefully, I should be happy to have won you from so many men. However, this account still needs to be settled. We have plenty of time. I'll settle it with you slowly. This caused the flower mark between her brows to glow again, absorbing all the wandering spirits. With no other options, they could only investigate the ghost city now. The ghost city, usually full of spirits, now seemed like an empty city. An elder stopped them from behind. He recognized the woman at once and explained, the ghost lord has taken all the spirits to Dushua Mountain for cultivation. If you seek the ghost lord, you should go to Dushua Mountain. The woman truthfully explained the situation to the elder. The elder seemed disbelieving but had to accept the reality and led them into the ghost city. They decided to place Mingi in an ice coffin to rest until the ghost lord awakens in 100 years. The woman kept expressing her regret, saying if it weren't for her, Ino wouldn't have ended up like this. The elder consoled her. This isn't your fault. The ghost lord has always been straightforward and pure, loving to play. He had long wanted to escape. He just found an excuse. I will stay here, watching over the ghost lord until he awakens. The woman revealed the flower mark between her brows and asked, Elder, what exactly is this ghost mark on my forehead? Seeing the ghost mark, he asked, Fairy, did you and the ghost lord get injured again and engage in intimate relations? Hearing this, the two behind her were shocked like a bolt from the blue. The woman hurriedly explained, No, we're completely innocent. This ghost mark appeared after I ate Mingi's heart. The elder finally understood. So the ghost lord deliberately gave you his heart. He wanted to protect you always. This ghost mark is actually a home for wandering spirits. The more spirits enter it, the stronger its power becomes. The ghost lord wanted all the wandering spirits in this world to serve you, protecting you for life. A ripple stirred in the woman's heart. The elder comforted her, Don't worry, fairy. The ghost lord has always been this frank. What he wants to do for you is entirely willing. Hundreds of years ago, he also planted a ghost mark for another woman. The ghost lord is pure-hearted and can't bear loneliness, so he becomes very fond of any woman who keeps him company regularly. Actually, he doesn't understand love between men and women at all. The elder then reminded them that the ghost city's energy was very heavy, and they should leave quickly. Watching them leave, he sighed in his heart, wondering how everything would be different after 100 years. Who could know? But to make Xuantianji feel better, the man was willing to do all this. After leaving, the woman thought about all the wandering spirits entering her mark and felt somewhat troubled. Seeing her distress, the man suggested simply destroying all the wandering spirits completely. The woman thought this wouldn't do, as the ghost mark could protect her life, and her spiritual power hadn't fully recovered yet. At this time, the system appeared with a suggestion. Ningxiang Garden was of earth attribute, and beast affinity was its foundation. If diluted by 60 years, the beast affinity could restore spiritual power. The woman asked, Ningxiang is mortal. If his beast affinity is consumed, wouldn't he die? Before she could finish asking, the system disappeared. The man behind her asked, Who are you talking to? The woman quickly explained she was just greeting a wandering spirit. Arriving at Jinling City, they were amazed by its prosperity. The nine-tailed fox left first, claiming to scout ahead. The two behind were about to follow. But the man stopped. Spirit City was an important place in the human realm. Hundreds of years ago, the heavenly realm set up a barrier here. The man explained that once demon realm people entered, heaven would immediately know. The woman touched it and indeed felt a barrier. As the strongest of the demon realm, such small tricks couldn't stop the man. The man cast a spell to conceal his demon aura. This way, the heavenly tribe wouldn't know, but this method would make most of his power disappear. In an instant, the man transformed into a child's appearance, asking, My lady, are you willing? This was how Qi Yin and I first met. It was regrettable that I couldn't protect you then. Now I finally have a chance to make up for it. The woman gently stroked the man's head. Of course I'm willing. Hearing this, the man became somewhat shy. I was just joking. How could I let you protect me? You just stay honestly by my side, and let me protect you. At this time, the nine-tailed fox was surrounded by mortals in a difficult situation. The woman pulled the man along, preparing to rescue the nine-tailed fox, keeping Qi Yin close by her side. The man felt strangely shy, thinking, This girl, she's not really treating me like a powerless waste, is she? though this feeling of being protected is quite nice. A group of people had snatched away the girl the nine-tailed fox was carrying. A master shouted, "Audacious fox demon, daring to kidnap children in broad daylight. See how I'll deal with you." The nine-tailed fox was extremely anxious. To make Binbin behave, he had specifically cast a confusion spell. Now he saw everyone as Master Xian. If others took him away, what would happen? The woman appeared just in time. "You must all be mistaken. We're here to help you catch demons." The ignorant Taoists boasted shamelessly, "Bah, where did this demon woman come from? Don't bewitch people's hearts. Look at his tiger ears. He's clearly a fox demon." The nine-tailed fox told Xuanji about Xian being taken away. The woman looked panicked. Qian stepped forward, saying, "They're just foolish mortals. No need to waste words with them. Let me restore my power and bathe this city in blood." The woman quickly stopped him. "Qian, no." The nine-tailed fox asked puzzledly, "This child is Qian?" Mingxianjuan walked up with light steps. The man spoke, "Everyone is mistaken. These are friends I invited to catch demons, not demons themselves." The man took the woman's hand and introduced, "This is the celestial being I mentioned, Miss Xuantianji from the heavenly realm." Qian pushed away the man's hand. "Get away from her," Mingxianjuan said puzzledly. "This young master looks familiar. He resembles that arrogant man who claimed to be Miss Xianer's husband." The woman explained, "He's a celestial child from my heavenly mansion, specifically accompanying me to eliminate demons." Mingxianjuan asked curiously, "Then why didn't that man come with Sister Xianer? Is he also from the heavenly realm?" The woman was suddenly speechless, unable to reveal Qian's demon identity. The man beside her couldn't sit still and said, "Whether he is or isn't, what's it to you? Stop the nonsense and have your people return Xuantianji's daughter." The man turned and ordered the group behind to bring out the child. Everyone started making excuses. Seeing the delay, the woman angrily said, "You lost her?" The man quickly reassured her, "Don't worry, Sister Xian. As long as she's in Jinling City, I'll definitely find her." Everyone scattered to search. Lingxianjuan also led the woman into the city. He suddenly hugged Xuantianji. "I'm so sorry, Sister Xian. I made you unhappy from the start." Qian beside them was about to explode with anger. The woman pushed the man away. "Let's go. Entering the city is urgent." The man said unhappily, "Sister Xian, push me away. Am I no longer your darling?" The two behind them changed expressions suddenly. "Master Xian, I thought that nickname was mine alone. But now..." The woman hurriedly tried to explain, but unexpectedly, the two who usually didn't get along united in their stance. Explanation is just cover-up. There's no need to listen. Who knew Master had more than one darling? How disappointing. The two walked ahead angrily, completely ignoring the woman behind them. It seemed they were truly angry.